The flame-haired agent claimed that HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales should be early targets for Vladimir Putin's military machine, and said London could be hit too. If, God save us, there is an open military conflict between Russia and USA in Syria, our attacks should be aimed not only at American ships and planes, she said. The British recently launched 2 new warships, aircraft carriers. I think if something unpleasant happens, like sinking to the bottom, the British aristocracy will come to its senses very fast. Chapman, 36, claimed Western provocateurs were turning themselves inside out, making Russia use its military force just somewhere, in Donbass, eastern Ukraine, in London, in Syria. She mocked British aristocrats Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson and Premier Theresa May, who she sees as being spearheading a major new Western campaign against Russia. Moscow is being portrayed as covered in the blood of innocent Syrian children hit by chemical weapons, she said. I would like to note that this escalation started not at all in Syria, she posted on social media, alluding to the poisoning of ex-GRU military intelligence spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia. Its roots are in the British city of Salisbury, at the beginning of March. And the fuel on the fire of Russian-American opposition is being poured by one British gentleman with unkempt hair, and a woman who dreams of the Iron Lady status of Margaret Thatcher. Chapman, formerly married to a British ex-public school boy, had her UK passport annulled by May, then Home Secretary, in 2010 when she was unmasked as an undercover Russian spy by the FBI. She was expelled from the US and exchanged in a Cold War-style spy swap with, among others, Skripal, who had been convicted by a Russian court of spying for MI6. East to West News. Russian spy Anna Chapman has urged Vladimir Putin to target UK ships. Washington, in tandem with London, is doing its best to delegitimize Russia's actions in Syria, and the power in our country in general. Anna Chapman, in an earlier post on her propagandist social media, she branded Skripal a traitor. Now she claims there is a Western campaign to undermine and provoke Moscow. Donald Trump is being pushed to open military conflict with Russia, she warned. On the alleged chemical weapons attack in Syria, she said the U.S. State Department has straightforwardly accused Russia, as the country that protects the criminal regime in Damascus. Washington, in tandem with London, is doing its best to delegitimize Russia's actions in Syria, and the power in our country in general. But most likely these actions are aimed not only at us but at Trump himself. East to West News. Russian spy also claims there is a Western campaign to undermine Moscow. It is a serious mistake to think that Trump controls all hostile anti-Russian provocations. American corporatocrats are turning themselves inside out, making Russia use its military force, just somewhere, in Donbass, in London, in Syria. Since being thrown out of America as a spy, Chapman, whose father was a spy, has become a millionaire TV presenter who also runs her own fashion boutiques. Her regular Instagram postings, accompanied by glamour pictures, are in support of Putin's government, which has strongly denied involvement in the Salisbury poisonings or connivance in the use of chemical weapons in Syria. HMS Queen Elizabeth was commissioned in December, the same month that HMS Prince of Wales was launched.